Hang on a tick. We'll wait for a few people to arrive and see where they're coming from. I didn't put up a notification again this time because I was unsure whether I was going to be able to do this. We changed to daylight saving last night, unfortunately. So who knows what time I woke up this morning and what time it really is. I take quite a while to adjust to daylight saving, actually, if I even do. Anyhow, the rest of the world seems to enjoy it, but there's a select few of us who don't love daylight saving that much at all. In Australia, it's hard work because the sun's up late anyway throughout these summer seasons, and daylight saving pushes it back, so it can be nearly 10 o'clock and you're still getting that radiant heat from the sun. So it's really tiring. I find by the end of daylight saving in summer, I am exhausted. Anyway, hello everybody. Hello Soxy Nana. I'm live right now. Yeah, I had a bit of a trouble to start with. I think there was a false start there. It wouldn't let me film horizontally, so I had to go and change something. Who else have we got here? Say hello. Tell me where you're from. I'd love to know. I'm just going to wait a few more minutes and see if anyone else joins us before I get started on my FOs, my finished objects, although one's only nearly finished. Cheers to you guys. All right, I'll get started on what I have completed in the last fortnight. Now, one of them is this, saw that Winnipeg, Canada here. Yeah, that's a nice time of the day, 6:30 p.m. Hunkered down, the day's done. I really like the late afternoon and evening too. What I have done here with the solid granny square is a tutorial to show you how to do it without having the unsightly join come up the side. Now, I don't know if you've seen this before, but this makes me so much happier to look at it. And I've also given two handy tips because sometimes it feels like there's just too many stitches developing across here and it can get kind of the wobbles really. So if you've got too many stitches and it's starting to make you a little bit nervous, stop using the very first stitch. Hello, Krista. Hello. How are you going? I'm glad you're here too. That's so lovely. I was just mentioning how you can stop having your solid granny square become a little bit too wobbly. So if you were to just keep on with this, you would find that these edges would get a wave to it, and we don't want that. So my handy little tips were not to work into the hidden stitch. Now the hidden stitch is the first one of the double crochet below, and it's often hidden by the corner stitches. So you cannot use that one, and also you can reduce the amount of stitches that you use in your corner. So take it down to one double crochet, one chain, one double crochet, just as a way to be able to use this square in a larger manner, if that makes sense. But if you haven't seen this tutorial, go and check it out. It's actually so easy once you know how. Like anything, we actually start with the last double crochet in the corner. So that's our starting position. Work our way around, oops, and then connect up to the first double crochet we'd made, which is actually the last one of the row. But again, go and check it out. It really makes sense once you know how. Who else have I got on here at the moment, and where are you from? I'd love to know. Pop up a little message. Okay, so that was one of my finished objects. A nice, quick and easy one. I'll tell you why soon. I have continued on with my sampler blanket squares, up to 44 out of 50, so 6 to go. I will be relieved once it's done, and I'm excited to see it all together. And I've been finding stitches that I never knew existed. And I think some others are like that too. It's like, where are you finding these from? Well, I just scan Pinterest and YouTube, and I look through my books of crochet stitches that I've got. I really, really like this one. It seems to be the same on both sides. Can't tell you at the moment what it is, but I really love it. The whole idea with this sampler blanket was to make gently textured squares. I might have gone off-piste a little bit, and a few of them a little bit more than gently. They are pretty, aren't they? I really like a lot of them. And I actually regret doing them in blues now because I didn't think ahead, which is one of my silly jilly things that I do. I just don't seem to be able to think ahead. If I had, I would have done them in pretty colours and kept it for myself so that I can always... Hello, Andrea. Thanks for being here. I think all of you must be from the USA at the moment. What was I saying? I would really have loved to keep this blanket so I can refer back to the patterns all the time. So when I want to create a new project with a different stitch, I want to be able to look at the sampler blanket and pick a pattern from there. Now, I still won't give it away or sell it, but because blue's not my favourite colour, I know a lot of people love blue. I find when I do a yarn sale, the blue gets snatched up first. I just wish I did in pretty colours like the other ladies on Instagram. You wait until you see the blankets that these ladies have and are creating. There's 4 of them that do it diligently every time I put up squares, and they are so gorgeous. And it also makes a difference with the yarn that they're using. So I'm pretty sure their yarn is thicker than mine, and the pattern stands out so much more. They're really beautiful, and I'm going to ask them to give me a photo of their finished blanket so I can show you all. It almost makes me want to do it all again in different colours and different yarn, but I don't think I've got time for that. Actually, time is something I'm really struggling with at the moment. I'll tell you more about that in a second. All right, the next thing that I made since I saw you here last, just a cuppa, quick sip, was this Never Ending Wildflower. Now this pattern, I have seen it years and years and years ago and absolutely loved it to death. Oh, it's not going to stand out while I'm holding it up. Look at that. It is just so gorgeous. It is a row of double crochets, then you work all the petal stitches into the front loop of the double crochet below, then you do another round of double crochets increasing, then you do a petal round, and so on and so forth. Now, I had made this little one some time ago, and I've used it in lots of photos on Instagram. You know, when we have a flowered theme thing going on, I always use this one. And I probably should have made this one bigger because this is more stiff cotton, because my plan is to put it on this hoop. So I don't know how this is going to go because these petals are going to fall forward. And my idea was maybe to get some of that spray glue or spray starch. I'm not sure. Let me know if you know how that works. to keep the petals up because I want to hang it on my wall of many crochet things. It will look really nice, joining the rest of them there. So there's a tutorial for this if you'd like to know how to make it. It's easy again once you know how. It's just lots of trebles because to increase the size of the petals, we do more and more trebles as we go along. Okay, so if you like that one, there is a tutorial there for you. Now, let me just show you something. I opened up Instagram this morning and what did I see? Here is a never-ending wildflower. Use sugar water to stiff. Okay, I'll Google that. Alice, that's a great idea. I appreciate that. Geraldine from G Crochet Off the Hook. I'll pop her account name in the description box. She's made this never-ending wildflower in variegated colours. Now, doesn't that look gorgeous? Hang on a tick, my iPad doesn't work so well these days. It's almost defunct and it won't scroll for me. So we're stuck with that, which is just fine. So this is what I love about being on YouTube and that I love about creating projects or patterns, that you guys make them your own. I think that's really special because you don't have to follow what I do. You throw your flair into it and create something equally as beautiful, just different. And I love seeing them. Oh, that's an up close. But I really appreciate that she's made that so quickly. It was just a thrill this morning to open up and see that as the first thing. So thank you, Geraldine. Go give Geraldine a follow if you would like to. She's a really lovely lady. She makes lots of things. The plushies, amigurumis, blankets, beanies, you name it. She makes them all, which I really enjoy. I enjoy the variety. And she's just a great lady as well. We have lots of great ladies on here, don't we? Actually, I don't think I've met maybe just one person said something nasty, so I had to block that person. But everyone else is so lovely. Now, that brings me to the big question. Where are my next projects? I had in mind 2 blankets to make between now and Christmas time. And I had a yarn sale last weekend, which was a fabulous success. I actually wondered if it was going to be. Because of the economic, I say, crisis that's happening for people, I thought maybe that people wouldn't purchase my yarn at $30 a skein, Australian dollars. But again, I'm just left with one little brown one. Strangely enough, I'm left with 8 blues. Now, this particular blue, I should have bought one in. Why didn't I? Anyway, when I do make it, it automatically gets snapped up so easily. This time I made 10 because one time a girl bought a whole sweater's worth. So I thought, I'll do 10. It's ready if someone wants it. So only 2 of those sold. So I've got 8 of them left, which is absolutely fine because they'll just go in the next sale and so on and so on. But other than that, all my yarn got sold. It was a flurry to start, then it went quiet and I thought, oh, okay, that'll be it now. But then after that, one after the other, they just went. So again, you ladies just amaze me. I'm so amazed. Now, there was so much excitement that I got 30 more skeins as custom orders to dye up for people. And of course I can't say no. So that's where my time has gone, and that's why we don't have a new blanket project up. However, I am still in the process of making this triangle one. So these are the colours I'm using. I won't tell you right now how it's going to go, as in the pattern using the triangles, but you might have seen on my last live that I had a triangle pattern I wanted to do for you. It was basically granny stitch for the whole blanket, just changing in colours to produce a triangle effect. Now, I did ask the designer, could I do a tutorial on that for you? And she said no, and rightly so. That's fine. I just thought I'd try and see. So because I couldn't do that, I've made my own. So we're going to have a fun little triangle blanket come hell or high water before Christmas. Now, the other one I wanted to do before Christmas was the rectangle blanket. You know, the one where you start with a rectangle in the center and work your way around the rectangle so it grows as a rectangle. And we're going to do, you know, a few rows of lots of different stitches to add the variety. The ladies, the majority, said they didn't want to do it in granny stitch. Maybe they've already done one in granny stitch. So we're going to do it in different stitches. So then comes up this crochet along that I want to do that starts on the 8th. I'm so unprepared, but I am just going to pull my colours out really soon and just go for it, do what I can, because geez, I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. So I'll just have a sip and I'll tell you what's happening with the yarn. Because I dye yarn and most of them are totally unique, I don't have recipes to follow. I can follow things by eye. Especially that blue lot that is still sitting out there, that's one I can reproduce again and again, fairly similar, but most of them I can't, because I just get behind the pans and I just get in a zone and I just go for it and I just make what comes, and you know, it's usually really, really nice and I'm happy with it. So when people say to me, can you please make me one of those? I can't just pull one of those out and make them straight up. What tends to happen is I try again, and I try again. And if it's not right, I just keep trying, because the yarn that I make that isn't exactly what they want, I then use in my next sale. So nothing goes to waste. So I'll show you some of what I've been creating. So this was to be a fade, to go from pink and orange through to red. Now, I can't pull out the other ones that belong to it because I've got a whole lot here that I don't know until I twist them up which ones belong. Some of them I just kept coming up with the same thing again and again, and I thought, you need to change your method, Jill. This one is a leave no dye behind. So sometimes when you're dyeing your yarn, it doesn't take up all of the dye in the water. It's particularly with blues and the very, very bright pink. I've got one called Galar and it's neon pink. So what happens is you get left over some water that's still got dye in it. So what I do is put a plain skein in, some extra vinegar so that it will attach to the yarn, and I just let it sit and I just make a tonal out of it. So it's got a little bit of light and dark, as you can see there. So that one is a leave no dye behind. And I do that after every big dye session because I don't want any dye to go to waste, and it always comes out as something really pretty. So there we have that orange and pink again. Bit darker, so that would be the center one of the fade that I'm working on. It goes with that red one. Again, orange and pink in different shades. That's really more muted and toned down. Another one. Another one. Oh, I have just got so much ahead of me, you guys. That one's got more of the hot fluoro pink in it than others did. That one's more toned down. If you ever see, when you buy hand-dyed yarn, little specks of colour and you think, that doesn't belong in there. So here you can see there's a very, very dark blue. So the colours of the dyes actually will break and they produce the colours that they are made up of. All right, so pink actually has some blue dye particles in it. So you get these blue little bits. And if you didn't know that, you'd think, oh, that's a bit of an error. That's not right. You know, that's not very good. But that's just not how it is. It doesn't matter who you are as a yarn dyer, you are going to get dye colours that break. Hello, Victoria. Oh, nice to see an Aussie. Thank you. Thanks for coming by. How are you? Oh, you probably don't have daylight saving. You're in Victoria. It's a bone of contention with me up here in New South Wales. Okay, so back to dye pigments breaking. And you'll get colours that you think, how on earth is a dark blue in pink? But that's just what it is. And one last one, again, very similar. So I have got my whole kitchen set up out there, waiting for me to get back to it. I have two ladies that want this sort of colourway. And then I have another one which I should be able to do fairly easily because it's a colourway I can repeat. Then I've got two ladies that have a massive order. So I'm going to be at the dye pots for really quite some time. And I've got so much crocheting to do. Again, I need more of me than one. I need to multiply myself or at least give myself 8 arms. It's just crazy what happens, but that's the passion that these ladies have. And I feed off that too because I really love to see it. I feel passionate about our yarn life as well. And I couldn't say no to them because I want to do that for them. Actually, I'm going to plan to see one of my Instagram friends either today or tomorrow to give her the yarn that she bought. She happens to be in town. So I'm going to go and have a cuppa with one of my Insta friends. And that's such a nice thing to do because the last time I did that, you just feel like you know them. You just start talking like you've known them for so long. And yeah, it's really nice. Okay. I've covered just about everything this morning. I haven't got a lot else to tell. I've had 2 finished objects. I've just spent so many hours in the kitchen dyeing yarn that's been me. This new crochet along called Universe in Bloom starts on the 8th. And I'm meant to be also doing my grandson's blanket from the Mix and Match book. Have I got that here? No, it's probably out in the, no, it's out in the lounge room where more of my crochet is. I need to have it done by January so that he can take it back home with him because they're going to come down and visit. So instead of posting it and spending quite a lot of money on that, they can take it back with them after being here at Christmas time. So I plan for the next however long it's going to be dyeing yarn and crochet when I can. And I'm really sorry that our projects have been pushed back because I was really keen for them too. I might tell you right now. And I need to jam in 6 more of the sampler blanket squares so we can get that completed by the end of the year as well. I'm already feeling like the end of year is speeding up like a treadmill going faster. It's like holding on for dear life. Do you feel that same way as well? Especially when it comes to Christmas, you know, presents, things to get organised. I don't generally make Christmas decorations out of crochet. I have in the past done a few baubles and they're nice, but that's about it. So I have one in mind that I'd like to do and share with you, but I'm not a big seasonal decorator like the people in the Northern Hemisphere are. I was absolutely amazed when I met them and saw what they did with the changing of seasons and traditions, and I was blown away. And actually taught me a lot that, you know, we would read books when we were children about the maypole, and I was like, what's a maypole? And sure enough, a few of them one day did little flower garlands that they wrapped around their hair, and they went to a maypole celebration. So all these things that have come from the United Kingdom and Europe, and actually, well, the USA as well with Halloween, and us down here in Australia don't have any of those. So we don't go all out with those sort of things because we just don't have those traditions. So it is nice to watch, it is nice to see, but I actually don't make a lot of them myself, except Christmas. I'll decorate at Christmas. That one is a surefire bet. So let me know in the comments, do you decorate your homes for traditional times of the year? Actually, well, 3 of you on who are probably from the USA would. I love the pumpkins. I think they're ever so cute. But I would put one in my house and everyone would be like, what are you doing, Mum? Anyway, so that's where things are at, you guys. If I can get through my dyeing order nice and easily from now on, instead of making a whole lot that just aren't quite right, I'll be able to get our projects going as soon as possible. If not, we just have to do them when we can. And that's not good enough for me, but I have to accept that because that's not what was in my plans. And if you're like me, you get a little bit disappointed when the plans change. However, it's all for a good purpose. All right, my lovelies, I am going to go. I'm going to call my Instagram friend and ask if she wants to meet for a cuppa, and then I'll come home and get into some more dyeing of yarn. So I will see you probably again in another fortnight. I seem to be doing these lives every fortnight, and when I've got some things to show you and talk to you about, I'll pop it up as a what do you call it? You can watch it as a replay, so it'll be there forever. And I thank you for joining me. I'm really enjoying my life here on YouTube with you all. Have a great day or great evening, everybody, and happy crocheting. Take lots of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.